Hi folks, Ron Bishop from Timaru, New Zealand. Today is the 25th of April 2013 and it's Anzac Day. The day we remember the men that went overseas and fought for us in the wars. The world wars. Now we've got something in Timaru to show you. It's something different. It's never been seen on YouTube before. It's a reminder of the war. And I'm going back down, I'm going down to a little place called Caroline Bay, by the sea. And I'm going to show you some war memorials that's never been shown on YouTube before. So come with me and let's go down to Caroline Bay in Timaru, New Zealand. This is the closing of the memorial service down the Caroline Bay. And there's a big crowd here today, paying their respects to those who fought for us in the war. This line of people has come to lay their poppies at the front of the in the sound shell here. There's quite a large number of people here this morning.
Each end is the very faded New Zealand flag, and you'll see a Red Cross flag.
That's the mayor there, Daniel there, in the white. The mayor of Timaru, Daniel there, is in the white. How are you, sir? What's your name?
Philip Turnbull.
Philip Turnbull? And what war did you fight in?
Second World War.
The Second World War. Fantastic. Lovely medals you got there. How are you?
This is Mr. Jim France.
Jim France. Well, I know that man.
Yeah,
From Pleasant Point.
that's right.
You had a farm out there.
Yeah, at Albury.
Albury. And what war did you fight in?
I fought in several wars.
The what?
I was all over the world. Yeah, I was in the Navy for 7 years.
Were you?
Yeah. Oh, I went right around the world. I was in Singapore when it fell.
Were you?
Got out of Singapore the day before it fell.
Is that right?
Singapore was on fire.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And I was up in Japan when the bomb fell.
Yep.
Big bomb. We were in the occupation there in Tokyo Bay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And what are the medals for? What
I got no idea.
You know, they just hung them on you.
Lots of good stuff, eh, Jim?
Hey, thanks for talking to us, Jim.
Yeah, right.
How are you?
Good, thanks. Good.
What's your name?
David Garrett.
David Gareth. And I pass you every day on Glenini, do I?
You do indeed.
And listen, why did you get the medals?
I was in the British Army,
British Army?
Coldstream Guards for 35 years.
Were you?
Yeah, and I've been to Aden and Germany, Northern Ireland. I spent a lot of time,
Yes.
and some of them have good conduct and notorious service and that.
What's the cross
Which cross?
on your hat?
Oh, that's the Coldstream Guards Capstar.
Coldstream Guards Capstar.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Hey, thanks for talking to us.
Now wait a minute,
I know this man.
he's actually, no, did he serve in Korea?
Oh, I did a lot.
Two gentlemen catching up on old times,
Yeah.
talking about things here. There's lots of medals around here today. I haven't got one myself, but there are lots of medals. I'm down on Caroline Bay, looking back up the Bay Hill at the Hydro Grand. Sitting up there in all its glory. It's been sitting there for 100 years. Now I told you I was going to say a surprise, something different to do with Anzac Day, and it's just down the road here. Just a minute, come with me. Here it is, some memorials of the World War I. And there's lots of them here. The Western Front. The Western Front, France and Flanders. Western Front, France and Flanders. Right down here on the Bay Hill, on the Caroline Bay. Here's some of the young people coming back after laying their poppies. Here's the Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, sitting there getting their photo taken.
This way. Just put your hands down. Just have to ignore the sun for a minute. Stay still.
Smile, everybody. Say cheese. I'm going to show you these things shortly. When the crowd disperses, I'm going to show you each one of these plaques and read it out to you what they're all about. No, YouTube. What's with the uniform?
This is the Air Training Corps, which is a branch of the New Zealand Cadet Forces, sponsored by the government to train young people as leaders within Thirdly.
Okay. So you've come down here to the memorial here. Do you know much about this over here?
Yeah, it's the original seawall was built in the 1920s.
Yes.
And it commemorated each of the battlefields New Zealanders fought in during World War I. As the seas sort of moved away, it's no longer sort of used as a seawall, and about 5-6 years ago they put up the World War I plaques that are there now, which gives a bit more information to the public.
Okay, those balls have something to do with it too, don't they?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure of the significance of them, I'm afraid.
Okay. Thanks for talking to us. These are the ones doing the work. I'm talking to a lady in a wheelchair. How are you?
Oh,
She's deaf? Can you tell me her name?
wants to know your name. Eve? Eve.
Eve?
Yeah.
Hello, Eve. Did you enjoy the service today?
Did you enjoy the service? Yes. Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
Thanks for talking to us, Eve. Here they are, all the poppies. So the people have come and put their poppies on the cross. And the wreaths are here. This is in the Sound Shell on Caroline Bay, Timaru, New Zealand. How are you? Where are you from, you people? What home are you from? Glenwood Home, is that right? Yeah. And you've come down here today. Did you enjoy the service? Good on you. Did it?
Including one who was killed on Gallipoli.
You had a relation killed in Gallipoli?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the second officer, but the officer ahead of him was killed.
That's right.
He told the men under him not to put their heads up.
Very sad day, isn't it?
And then he put his up.
Right. Hey, thanks for talking to us. This imperative memorial was unveiled by Major General R. Rhys Jones, Chief of Army New Zealand. 1st of November 2009, commissioned by the South Canterbury War Memorial Society, major sponsor Hadley and Brunton Limited. There's a display here of memorials that tell the story about the war. Now, I don't know much about the war, so I can't tell you much about it. All I can do is show you what's on these plaques, and I hope to do this when the people move away. We're looking at a sundial. These sundials, I'm not too sure what they represent, but there'll be someone that can tell us, and the reason they're here. There are 2 or 3 on Caroline Bay. As people remember the war, I'm going to talk about the Victoria Cross, and I'm going to read out to you the names of the people who have been awarded the Victoria Cross. Private Henry James Nichols, VC, in the 1st Battalion Canterbury Infantry Regiment, was killed in action. Alongside him, Sergeant Richard Charles Travis, VC, 2nd Battalion Otago Regiment, killed in action. Sergeant Samuel Forsyth, VC, New Zealand Engineers, killed in action. Here's some more of them. Sergeant Donald Forrester Brown, VC, 2nd Battalion Otago Infantry Regiment, killed in action. Sergeant Henry John Laurent, VC, 2nd Battalion New Zealand Rifle Brigade. Corporal Cyril Royston Guyton Bassett, VC, New Zealand Division Signal Company. Private Crichton, VC, 2nd Battalion Auckland Regiment. So I'm reading to you the New Zealand recipients of the Victoria Cross. Lance Corporal Samuel Frickleton, VC, 3rd Battalion New Zealand Rifle Brigade. Lance Corporal Leslie Wilton Andrew, VC, 2nd Battalion Wellington Infantry Regiment. Sergeant John Gilroy Grant, VC, 2nd Battalion Wellington. Sergeant Reginald Stanley Judson, VC, 1st Battalion Auckland Regiment. These are New Zealand recipients of the Victoria Cross. The Victoria Cross owes its origin to the special circumstances of the Crimean War. The idea of the award is attributed to the Duke of Newcastle, who drew Prince Albert's attention to the fact that no means existed for awarding junior officers and other ranks in the Royal Navy and the Army for exceptional bravery on the field of battle. The Victoria Cross, the highest British award for gallantry in action, was instituted by royal warrant in January 1856, but was made retrospective to the autumn of 1854 to cover the period of the Crimean War. It was to be awarded for the performance of some signal act of valour or devotion in the presence of the enemy, regardless of rank, length of service or any other circumstance. Signal means remarkable, notable. The first presentation of Victoria Cross took place in Hyde Park on 26th of June 1857, when Queen Victoria decorated 62 officers and men for bravery during the Crimean War. Since 1856 there have been several amending warrants. In 1867 eligibility was extended to members of the colonial forces in New Zealand and other parts of the Empire, and in 1911 the award was extended to Indian officers and men of the Indian Army. All Victoria Crosses are cast from bronze and taken from Chinese cannon captured from the Russians at Sebastopol in the Crimean. In the Crimea. On the adjacent plinths are details of New Zealand soldiers who were awarded the Victoria Cross in World War I. There you are. The Eastern Front was fought in Egypt, Gallipoli and Palestine. The Western Front was fought in France and Flanders. World War I. The memorial wall was built to commemorate the Great War of 1914 and 1918, and along its length bronze plaques were attached recording significant place names and negations from the conflict. Many of the plaques have a link to the New Zealand forces involved in the war. But the wall is a memorial not just of New Zealand's involvement in the war, but also of the millions of casualties suffered by many nations in that war. At the time that it was built, many hoped that it commemorated the last great war. Estimates of the casualties vary widely, although it seems generally agreed that there were almost 9 million military deaths, over 6.5 million civilian deaths, and latter mainly from famine, disease and epidemics. Over 110,000 New Zealand men and women served in the war out of a population of 1,090,000. Of those who served, 18,166 servicemen and women died. The story of the war is in many ways summarised by the names on the plaques, names that would have all had meaning to those who lived through that time. The plinths give a brief background of the names of the war plaques. Their location can be seen on the map of the world. The footpath along here has the footprint of the map of the world. There's a map of the world here on the footpath on Caroline Bay. We're looking at balls on the fence line here, or the wall. It's a wall that runs right down to around Caroline Bay, and there's some balls here, and some people tell me that's where there was a war in each one of these towns. They each got a name on them. And there they go right along there. Someone said there's about 80 or over 80 of them. Yeah, the names are getting old and hard to read, but I found one that's easy to read. It's called St Ives. So St Ives would have been a place where a war was fought. Here's another stone, and the war was fought in Hazelbrook. Hazelbrook. That's the row of the concrete balls on the fence line there. You'll notice there's the round balls, the lights. When they're on at night, it's a beautiful sight. The white lights and the war balls. I suppose I'll call them the war balls, where the wars were all fought. We end this video clip with the face of peace. The face of peace is a piece of architecture that's been done for us on Caroline Bay. The face has a plaque, but I can't read it. It needs to be polished up so we can read it.